Hi, welcome to Cherie's weight loss journey. We woke up and it's 36 degrees outside. Oh my God. And it's peak time. Hold on. Okay, so today, instead of holding my camera, I'm gonna let the mirror hold the camera. Okay? So we're hands-free. And what I don't like, there we go. I didn't like that angle. I did not. I wanted an angle that, actually won't come across as, in a weird position when I download the video. So off I go. Okay. Got a bunch of snacks. I ended up buying some protein cereal chips that I can put in my Greek yogurt. Yes, I brought that. I brought me a salad with turkey meat. Even though it's processed, I really don't eat processed meat that much. I think I'll survive. Okay. And what else? Oh, my protein drinks, my protein Quest bars, and my Nature Valley high protein bars that contain protein. I mean, they're not. They contain protein because they have nuts in them. Okay. I have bought some small, containers. So while I was at Hobby Lobby, so that I could mix some Greek yogurt in with my salad dressing. That way my salad dressing would have some nutritional value. Okay? And yeah. Oh, I also brought my my legendary chips. This is the chips that I'm talking about. These legendary chips is like combining pork rinds and tortilla chips together, and giving you the nutrition of 20 grams of protein. Like, wow. Okay? Wow. Finally got my smartwatch working. I had to figure it out by going on YouTube. Dang, that's the first time I got a warning about it being cold outside. Yes, it is cold outside. Low temps outside. That's what the warning on my car said. Like, thank you very much, I know. So, dang. I've been doing a little bit of progress in the house. I have a delivery of a food I came across a situation where my daughter, was overwhelmed, and she thought that she was going to have to come back home. And I was like, oh my gosh, we threw out all of the beds except for the one that I'm sleeping on. And I was like, I'm going to get a futon. That way, because I've been throwing out everything, right? And the reason why I've been throwing out everything is because, I have been purging, and most of the things that I have owned for years, decades, okay? And, never really felt the need to, change them out. I spent good money on them, hey, and they still work. Until, of course, like when my air conditioner had, the air conditioner fan had did something really weird, and it blew dust all over everything. The walls, the furniture, everything was dusty. And I was like, what is this? What the hell? Right? So that was, a cleaning episode in itself, right? And I'll be honest, when I was younger, I really didn't mind cleaning. And, I can clean very well, right? I used to enjoy doing dishes, as long as, they didn't have, like burnt on or caked on, grit and grime. Yeah, there was no problem to wash dishes. Back in, the day, we didn't have things like these comfortable steel wool pads. We either had SOS or just plain steel wool. Just plain steel wool. And but I have been watching like some cleaning videos, and they have different kinds of sponges. If you're not aware of the different kinds of sponges that are available out there, you can truly make your cleaning harder to do, just because you don't have the right tools. But when you have the right tools, cleaning can be a lot more comfortable. Like they have, I think it's like a steel daddy. A steel daddy is a sponge-like material, but it has steel fibers woven into the sponge, which is great, when you have, to really do some hard scrubbing. Then they have different kinds of sponges, right? You have your plain sponge, which, you can, use to wash dishes. Then you have like, your GoDaddy, right? Which is great for cleaning, cleaning off surfaces, and, once I was like, okay, maybe I really need to invest in that, right? Once I invested in that, it made cleaning a lot more easy. How is it more easy? Well, instead of scrubbing for a half an hour, you only have to scrub for 10 minutes, and that made my life, and it made my life more easier, and I didn't have to, expend so much energy and not even get the results that I was looking for. So, dang, it's 34 degrees outside. Unbelievable, right? So, 60, 70 degrees than what it was, 4 months ago. The same thing goes with, flooring, washing your toilet. I used to buy, those cheap, toilet brushes, and I would be totally disgusted and disappointed because, I used to spend a lot of time soaking the toilet and still not get the results that I wanted, However, if, you buy a $20, $25, toilet brush, you can get better results. So, yeah. In our society, you get what you pay for. However, they do come out with new and innovative stuff, that can make your life easier. So you constantly have to be on the lookout for the new technology that comes out, that can make your life easier, so that you don't end up, buying cheaper products and having to work harder, and, just like men will say, hey, if they don't have the proper tools, they really don't want to do the work. They want the best tools so that they can execute the work in the most efficient way possible, right? If you have cheap tools, you're going to have to use extra muscle, and your tool might even break. You have to go buy another tool. So, yeah. And I found that out with hammers, right? The one day that I came across a professional hammer, the weight was different, the construction was different, instead of buying a cheap shovel, I bought, a quality shovel, and it was just like, oh my God, the difference was all in the technology that made it easier, to actually do the work. So, yeah. Yesterday was like a vacation day for me. I didn't do much of anything except really, was a big cat, and that I was crocheting. Been doing some painting projects, and maybe when my projects are almost completed or completed, I might give a reveal. And I might not, just depending on how I feel. I had cooked shrimp and grits, had salad. I've been sticking really, really close to my diet, no doubt. But, since it is becoming the end of the year, and my goal was till the end of the year, that's when, I'm going to have to do an evaluation and then give myself, a maintenance goal. Right now, I feel like I'm in that, in the finale phase. And so, of course, I'm pushing myself not to give up, because sometimes, when we know that we're near the finish line, we might slow down and, and maybe even cheat, right? But I'm trying my best, not to self-sabotage, and then, tell myself that I can give myself a break, just go into, a maintenance phase. However, even going into the break in the maintenance phase, I have to still consider the fact that, my medical conditions still exist. Just because the alarm isn't going off doesn't mean that, they're not a problem. Well, let's talk about the problem. They're just not in a critical state at this time. They're still a problem. I've been, feeling pretty good. I'm not letting myself get stressed out. I have not taken my blood pressure. That's one thing I'm going to do at the end of the year. Although I know my blood pressure is, it has at least normalized into a non-hypertension mode. I can feel it. And I don't stress myself out. And I'm keeping up with my lightweight exercises. Today, I did half of my usual lightweight exercises because, of course, it's peak time. Gotta go in early, gotta put in extra time, gotta work an extra hour, and I'm doing my best, to beef up on the protein, because it can be very tiring. I've already taken my my A, B, C, and D vitamins. I have my 40 grams of protein mixed with 15 grams of fiber and my collagen in here. I'm seeing that the collagen is producing results. That's one thing that I've noted, is that the collagen has, has been regenerating some of the elasticity in my skin. And I'm like, oh, this is great. Now the collagen is recommended to take twice daily. I'm only taking it once. And to see some results is absolutely great. So at some point, I might just start taking the collagen as recommended. With the hopes that, by the time, the warm weather comes back, I won't have, a bunch of saggy, flabby skin, flopping all around, causing me pain. I'm still, sifting through, my emotions and, reflecting and introspecting on some of my past, that may have been triggers that caused me to, emotionally eat. And I'll be honest, one of the things, that may cause me to emotionally eat, one of them is boredom, right? Where you're watching TV, and, you have all of these, commercials where, people are eating food and, and it made me reflect, back in the day, I remember specifically, where relatives or my parents, they would say things like, it's impolite to eat in front of other people. And yet, I see this on almost every program that I watch, right? Sometimes they have kids eating, sometimes they have adults eating, and other times, they're just displaying this food as if it's, on your table for you to eat, and I just found it to be, very interesting how here we are, a country where, there's a lot of obesity, and yet, we're inundated with, restaurants and Uber Eats and DoorDash and food at the gas stations and, vending machines all over the place, and, and that's cool, that's cool, because, people, feel like, they're going to make their money, they're going to make their money. there are, there has been, restaurant closures because not only people can't afford to eat out, the way that they used to. Since the pandemic, people are trying to find the food that they can eat that's going to, give them the most nutrition and without jeopardizing their health. See, that's one of the things that, people felt deceived about, was, people were paying good money to eat foods that, took a toll on their metabolism, their system, all of the, the fats, sugars and stuff that they had, included in on, the foods that, that they, use to get people to buy them and keep buying them, and and even cause problems to their health, like diabetes or or an addiction to starchy sugars, right? However, there is, a big push, to include more protein, and not necessarily fiber though, but they are trying to at least include more protein into the food that we're buying, right? The food that used to contain only, 3 grams of protein today might contain 10 grams of protein. So yeah, this makes it, a more healthier choice to pick foods that are more nutritional. I cannot believe that it's already the 22nd or the 21st. Oh, the 21st. It's already the 21st of December, right? It is the winter equinox. Okay? So we are officially in winter, and we busted into winter with a cool 34 degrees. Yes. Very cool. Let's throw out that word cool. It was cold. It's cold. Right? It's cold. We're 4 days away from Christmas. And And you know, I guess, you kind of have an idea, what you could spend on Christmas, if you're going to truly get the Christmas gifts that you want. And because most people will not have a pay period between now and Christmas, right? So it just seems like there's a calm down period that has happened because, people have to accept, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. It is definitely cold. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. These are the turkey sticks that I use for snacking for both me and Snoopy. She loves them. I love them. So yeah, I definitely got, an abundance of snacks. And of course, I don't like to drink water, so I keep, my water flavoring going. If I don't have water flavoring, the chances are I'm not going to drink that much water. Today, I know that I'm going to have to replenish, fluids into my organs, so I got some hydration. Okay? Because yesterday, I know I didn't drink that much water. And I didn't even bother to make tea because it was cold yesterday. It wasn't like freezing, but it was in the 50s. The highs was the 50s. So like I said, when it's cold, I'm not enthusiastic about drinking water. And I had bought some tea hoping to offset, my water consumption by drinking tea. And I successfully did that most of the week, but yesterday I did not. So I was reminded, by the color of my urine to drink a packet of my hydration water. Um, what else? What else? Well, just looking forward to um 2025 being a year of change. So I usually don't do a vision board. However, I might do a vision board, you know, between Christmas and the New Year, because I spent most of November, trying to create, uh, my philosophies, my, consolidating my thoughts about, religion, you know, and even yesterday, religious thoughts had came up where, we have so many people, who are, they're just placing the blame game, right? You can tell them till you're blue in the face that religion is just, the prerequisite to being the gateway into spirituality. And, they still don't get it, right? They think if they're religious, then that makes them a spiritual person. And it's like, you're stuck in elementary school, you know, of religion, you know, of spirituality, because, religion is like the elementary school of spirituality. And then as you progress going through, each level, you know, secondary school is where you'll actually start to, actually see the concepts of religion, and then high school is where now, you're practicing with, utilizing the formulas of religion or spirituality, and then, when you get to the college level, that's when, you're a true alchemist. It's just unbelievable the way people, want to just, cheat their way through the school of spirituality. And it's just like, yeah, how'd that work out for you? How'd that work out for you? And a lot of them will find out that it didn't work out well, and of course, that's when the blame game starts all over again. Right? One of the things that had blew my mind yesterday was the fact that, speaking about the blame game, this guy had made a video, right? This guy used to be a heterosexual. However, this guy was also using alcohol and drugs since he was 15 years old. So, of course, this is not going to work out in the relationship. Men don't understand that you cannot have drugs and alcohol in the home and not expect that eventually, you're going to be alienated either by the substance or as a result of, your abuse to your family. I've seen so many videos where the men just don't seem to understand. They think that they could keep drinking and drugging and that, it's harmless, right? The only time that they realize that it's harmful is if it, breaks down, I don't know, their kidneys or their liver or something, and even then sometimes they don't stop. But they don't even consider, how damaging it is to the people around them, their influx of emotions, them being erratic and explosive and depressed and, just, totally imbalanced. They don't see it. They're living it. But they blame other people. And so, anyway, when his relationship failed, he went out into the world and decided, maybe women just wasn't for him. And so then he became, gay. Okay? And while he was gay, he jumped even deeper into drugs and alcohol. Him and his partner. And him and his partner, they enjoyed, partying all the time. They like to party all the time, party all the time, party all the time. Yeah. And then eventually, it was breaking him down and he was like, oh, hell, this is financial devastation, So he wanted to quit, but his partner didn't want to quit. So of course, that became, problematic in their relationship. Because a lot of times, even though you may want to quit, if you're with a partner that doesn't want to quit, not only do they not want to quit, but they don't want the relationship to change in its dynamics. Okay? So he ended up having, a severe altercation with, his partner after 9 years, and broke up with him and decided that he would get his life together, at least get off of the drugs and alcohol. So once he got off the drugs and alcohol, and he got off the drugs and alcohol by going to AA. He didn't completely get off of the drugs and alcohol, but, he decided to at least go back to the doorway drugs that he was doing, which was like marijuana and and only drinking on occasions. But, when he had purged himself, then, he realized that, he had, went into a disbelief through the drugs and the alcohol where he didn't believe that there was a God. When he toned down his drug and alcohol consumption, then he was like, oh yeah, there is a God, because he no longer felt horrible. He really had to, call on God, when his addiction had gotten so bad and he needed, kind of like rescuing from his own addictions. Okay? But the video that he revealed yesterday was a concept that I hadn't really thought about, where he was talking about he did a lightweight research and found out that there are I think it was like over 1 billion active members of Alcoholics Anonymous. Active. Not people who have went through it, but active right now. Over 1 billion, right? We have 8 billion people on this planet. So that's close to, we could just round it up and say, 1/10 of our population are alcoholics, or have been, or have a potential problem of alcoholism. That's not even including the ones that, don't feel as if they have a problem with alcohol, or the ones who have overcome their problems with alcohol. Right? And yet, they refuse to accept the fact that this alcohol is not good for them. Right? But the point that blew my mind was he had stated that, alcoholism, exists in every sector of our societies, right? Rich, poor, every race, every, even the genders are included, right? Young, old, right? We have teenage alcoholism. We have, spouse, alcoholism, right? Where the wife is, the housewife, and she's an alcoholic at home. We have the professionals and the people who go to work, needing that drink while at work or after work, people who socialize, specifically with alcohol. Okay? And had stated that a lot of times, where people gather, right? And especially the fact that, Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotic Anonymous are groups of people that gather anonymously, and people will operate in these groups, and their mental state is dysfunctional, and they are playing the blame game. A lot of them are like, oh, I'm an alcoholic, give me time to work on myself, or, and then, if they feel like people did not give them the time, or, bail them out of their circumstances that they got themselves into, they, will plot and scheme, with other people who are also playing the blame game, with the people that are surrounding them for not having saved them, even though they won't save themselves, and, go out on vicious attacks against, the very people that they claim, should help them or should bail them out. And, that kind of blew me away, because that was an area that I hadn't really even considered. And I was glad that he brought that to my attention, even though I intuitively know that, I personally wouldn't want to deal with, people who are doing drugs and alcohol. Right? And especially the ones, that, can't temper their intake. Because it's just a matter of time before they get out of control. Right? So, in a spiritual community, we talk about all of these different cults and so forth and so on. And we had, kind of thought, oh, it was probably some religious or fraternal, but we never really truly thought about, that, drug addicts, alcoholics also have their fraternity. And that's huge, right? When we're using, the bars and drinking as part of our pastime. Okay? But I'm going to leave it here and give you something to think about. And I'm going to go inside because it's cold out here. Bye.